So I am in an abandoned reservoir and today I'm testing out some new upgrades on the enduro bike. We have some brand new RockShox Zeb Ultimate forks to test, and I'll give you the short story of why I'm testing these forks. This bike came with Fox 38 forks. I haven't really been too stoked with them. Yes, they're okay. Yes, you can get quite a good setup out of them, but I really did struggle to get them the way I wanted them to feel. And when we've been riding the e-bikes, they obviously come with RockShox Zeb forks, and I absolutely love the way they feel and how supple they are. So I tried to change them over, put the e-bike forks on the enduro bike, and they wouldn't fit because the taper on the steer tube was too big. So I just went out and bought a pair so I can test them and share some first impressions of what the setup of them was like, how they ride, and yeah, that's pretty much what this video is going to be. There's some ladders. I wonder if we can get up there. Let's go and have a look. Ooh. Boom. That's crazy. Hopefully nobody has vertigo on the channel. So we're up at some of my local trails. I've got some minimal tools in my bag, so pump, Allen keys and stuff in case I need to make any minor adjustments. I've set the forks up as RockShox recommends out the box, so I think I have 65 psi in the forks, and I've wound the clicks of rebound off by 8, I think, and there's no high speed compression, there's no low speed compression. That's exactly what RockShox recommends, and I'm just going to make some minor adjustments every run and see if we can get these forks set up feeling mint. Do you think that hop's literally all about like the like clips?
The front wheel.
Yeah.
It all comes from the front wheel tap.
Does it?
It lets your whole bike compress. It's like a trampoline. You like whack the front wheel and time it so your whole bike extends off of that. Come to a sick venue of amazing trails, drive 5 hours and all you post is a hop over the trail. Highlight.
Whoa! That was a massive rock. Oh Jesus! Oh! Eli nearly missed that corner. Your rear wheel nearly missed the turn.
Yeah, I was just crying down that as soon as I bust out into the open, man. Yeah, I could not see a thing.
Go.
No, go on, I want to get an orange jacket in my video.
Orange and I.
Light the way. Ah! Whoa. Oh! Oh.
Yo. That boy.
Do you reckon you could touch your bar on the floor? In that corner?
On that.
Yeah. Ah. Oh. This is testing the forks on the chunky rocks. Oh! I just hit the biggest one. I was about to say it's holding up pretty good.
Chubb, have you had some babies? No.
Carnage. Whoa. Oh God. Oh God. Challenges, no dabs. No taking your feet off. Quite a steep. Oh. Oh, steep and tech. Oh! Oh, more steep rocks. It is snowing. So as you can probably tell, the weather has taken a turn for the worst. It's now snowing, it's cold, it's wet, it's windy, whatever. We've got the Vetus there with the Zeb forks on it, and I'll just give you a bit of a rundown on how the last few days of testing these forks have been, because I've been fairly impressed, and I know a lot of people who've been contacting me through Instagram have been asking, like, why did you change to Zeb forks from Fox suspension? I thought they were really good forks, and yeah, what was the reason behind the change? Like I said at the start of the video, I could never get my Fox 38 forks to feel exactly how I wanted them. And if you ask a lot of people in the mountain bike industry, especially people who work on suspension, I'm fairly sure most of them will say that Fox forks come over damped out of the box. So they come like with quite a heavy tune on them. So no matter how much you play with them, no matter how much air pressure you put in and how much you play with them and try and set them up, for a lot of people, including me, they're never going to be subtle and sensitive enough for what you want. That's what I found anyway. So because of that, I decided to switch, and the switch came about because on my e-bike I'd been literally blown away by RockShox forks. In the past, I have actually held a bit of a grudge against RockShox and SRAM. I've always had a really bad experience with them, especially dealing with people at SRAM for some reason, at events and stuff. That's a different story for another matter. But when I had the Zeb forks on the e-bike, I was like, holy shit, these are like really good forks. And I tried to switch them over and they wouldn't fit because the taper on them on the stereo tube was too big, because it was like an e-bike specific fork. So I was like, right, what the hell, just buy a pair and test them out for shits and giggles and see if I can get the suspension where I want it to be, and then share that feedback with you guys. I know a lot of people are interested in like bike setup and that sort of stuff and trying to get the most out of their bike, so hopefully this video serves that purpose. So straight out of the box, these forks are ridiculously subtle, and for me, I want to get my suspension set up so it's very sensitive off the top. So the first 20 or 30% of travel, it is very sensitive to small bumps and stuff like that. So it's very compliant, it sticks to the floor and lets you feel the trail that's underneath you, kind of thing. I'm just gonna move because I'm getting bombarded with snow. And that's what I found straight out of the box. These were they weren't as damped as Fox suspension. It was very much on the lighter side of things. And all I did was literally put the suspension settings that RockShox recommended me for my weight, and literally I've made such minor tweaks so far, other than the fact I've added a little bit of low speed compression. So as well as the sensitivity off the top of the fork, I almost always look for a fork that is going to hold me up in the travel on steeper bits of track as well. So there's nothing worse than going down a steep bit of trail and having a fork dive underneath you, because that's just like not confidence inspiring at all, and it doesn't help you ride at your full potential. Whereas if you've got a pair of forks that are solid, that will hold you up in the travel, not too stiff though, so it's like the suspension is still working. It's kind of like a fine balance with suspension on steep trails. And I just literally found that these forks so far have done exactly what I've asked them to do. And from a standpoint of setting them up, from a, you know, if you've got no experience with suspension or anything, you're not a geek and you don't live and breathe suspension, like I don't live and breathe suspension, I'm quite in tune with it, but I don't live and breathe it. These forks are like really simple and easy to set up out the box. That's kind of like my little mini review though for the first couple of rides on the fork. I have an opportunity in the next few weeks to test out a special damper that goes inside this cartridge. Well, it's a cartridge that goes inside the fork, sorry. And this is the same cartridge that a lot of World Cup riders use, like Troy Brosnan and I don't know who else, but it's supposed to be a really hot damper that's supposed to make these forks even better, which then leaves me asking the question, like, how can you make the suspension that is already amazing like even better? So that'll be a video coming later on. I've also been testing out something else you may have been noticed. We've got a different spring on here today. That's for another video as well. Basic testing out a heavier spring. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you got value from it, let me know, share it with as many people as you can, and yeah, drop me a comment below what you think of the forks and how you set your suspension up, and if you've got any questions on the Zebs, I can happily try and answer them for you.